Hello, Earth Signs. This is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing, bringing you a special astrological reading. This will run from now through mid-August. Now, if you happen to hear it at the end of August, well, then for you, it would be running a month out from the time that you hear it. So hopefully this will help. I know we've been going through this intense new moon eclipse energy. It will soon pass, so hang in there. We are getting to the end of that energy. Thank goodness, although the changes it's bringing about will go for the next month. I will not be doing a weekly reading next week. I do have family coming in from out of town, so there won't be a weekly, so I'll be talking with you guys again in a couple weeks. If anyone could timestamp the readings below, I would appreciate that, because I'm not going to have time to go back and listen to everyone's readings and timestamp them. So if you would be a dear, someone wouldn't mind doing that for us, I would appreciate it. All of your fellow subscribers, listeners would really appreciate it as well. For all of you that have subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I appreciate all your positivity for me, your support for me, and also for others. You guys are all very kind and loving and compassionate with each other, as well as me, and I do appreciate that. So thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. And for those of you that are interested in the cards, I have prayed over the cards, shuffled them. I did ask that each of you receives at least one message. Do keep in mind, it's for a large number of people. So if your sign is not resonating with you, go ahead and listen to your moon or your rising sign. You might be able to get something from that. And if you are interested in the cards, I'm using the Soul's Journey, Gateway Oracle cards, the messages from the guides, the Akashic Tarot, the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I have my Lenormands shuffled and prepared as well if we need clarifiers along the way. The cards are laid out. We will start those momentarily, because as I was praying and shuffling for every single astrological sign, cards were popping out and flying and falling on the floor. So as that was happening, I was just stacking them up in order. So, and we'll see what order here in a second they're going to have us go in. But I believe that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, Capricorn. So you guys are going to be first. And let me just make sure this is recording. Outstanding. Okay. Well, that's cool. I've never had that one in a reading, Cappies. So you are getting a new cool card. Okay. Yeah, let's see what this is. All right. Yay, and all your cards fit on the table and you can see them all. That's great. A couple of the other signs that I was doing, they couldn't see all their cards. So you guys are very lucky on both fronts today. Okay, let's see what is going on. So this first card, this is your central issue. And then you have what it is that you're refusing to see or refusing to acknowledge. And then what the angels are recommending that you do this month in order to make it through this, to get to the other side. A lot of signs it's been to close this chapter and, move into the next chapter. So whatever it is that's going on in your life. Now, the central issue, you have the spiral. And you notice this is going in a circle. It's like a coiled snake, a coiled serpent. But this card's all about, transformation and growth. But it's about allowing ourselves to enter into the unknown, allowing ourselves to surrender to a journey taking us in a new direction that we are unfamiliar with, that's unknown territory, that we may be apprehensive about because it's unknown, but allowing ourselves to do that and birth a new start and birth a new beginning. Also, like a snake does shed their skin. They shed the old. They allow the old to fall away so that the new can come in. So, okay, that's interesting. So a number of you have been holding on to a relationship that you have not wanted to let go. The thing I was saying that's interesting is because they're talking about, so this new moon, this eclipse new moon that we're going through, it's really all about, it's forcing us to finally release repetitive repetitive, round and round, doing the same thing over and over and over and over, despite having the same outcome, it's insanity. This relationship that you've been in is kind of like insanity. It's been going in circles over and over and over and over, the same thing over. So a lot of you, this has been a relationship where start and stop, start and stop. For some of you, it's been going on 10, 20 years. But this new moon, this eclipse that we're going through, it's all about releasing these repetitive, destructive behaviors and patterns and beliefs. Also releasing these toxic relationships. And eclipses will permanently remove something from our lives. So if we have finally identified that, okay, that person is toxic for me, they are bad for me, I am sick of going in circles with them, I realize they're the snake, they're deceptive, they're liars, we're never going to be on the same page because they're being false, they're giving me a false front. They are not being forthright with me. I'm never going to get what I desire with this person, so I get it, I see it, I'm done. If we cut that person loose during the time when we are under the energy of an eclipse, we don't ever have to worry about them boomeranging back. It's done for good. Boom. Drop the mic. Because what we'll find a lot of times with relationships is when we end a relationship, that person, if we haven't totally learned the lesson, if that door is not totally sealed and closed, that person will boomerang back, oftentimes during a Mercury retrograde. So if you can finally cut this person free during this eclipse energy that we are in, they're never coming back. You're done. You're finally able to move forward. Because during... Oh, okay. That's interesting too. So Capricorns, what they were saying is, so you are one of the two signs that's really still holding on to a relationship, really not wanting to let a relationship go. A lot of the other signs up to this point, I mean, there are things that some of them are letting go, but for a number of them, it's like careers, jobs, things. But you and Cancers both are holding on, clinging on tight. Like for dear life, you're clinging on tight to this relationship that is meant to be done, meant to be over. The other signs, they've all seen that a relationship that they need to let go, they finally are like, no, deuces, fella, lady, you've got to go. I'm done. I'm done with these shenanigans. I am not doing this BS anymore. It's not working for me. You are not giving me what I need. You are not giving me what I deserve. I am not putting up with this anymore. They've put up boundaries. They booted that person, cleared that person from their lives, so they're ready for the next chapter. You and Cancers, however, are still holding on, which is why this new moon eclipse time is going to be very powerful for both of you to eclipse this person out of your life for good, because it's past the time that they were supposed to be gone. So the universe is actually helping both of you to try and free both of your signs, which is interesting because Cancer also had this card Be Yourself in their spread. So you might have something tied to Cancer. So maybe some of you, maybe that's your moon arising. But your readings are similar in that you have to release someone that's toxic. You're both holding on. There's been a person that's not been sharing honestly what they want, what they desire, what they believe. But it's very, very interesting because this new moon eclipse time that we're in, it's on the Cancer-Capricorn axis. It's about, what it's forcing us to do at this time. It's forcing us to look at what we have built a foundation on, who we have built a foundation with. Because for those that you have tried to build something with someone on a faulty foundation, God, universe, the angels, your whole team is coming in to break that down and end it this month, starting right now. And it's just so interesting, Capricorn, because you and Cancers are the two signs. Now, I don't know. I haven't finished. I still have air to do as well. And I guess we'll see what Virgos and Taurus have. But it's time to let them go. This is all about letting them go, shedding it. You can't have someone new come in if you're still holding on to the old. And many of you, you've held on for financial reasons, because the things that you've got these two cards under, what it is that you're refusing to see or refusing to acknowledge. And you have this King of Scrolls and this Empress, Angel of Abundance. Now the King of Scrolls, he's very well groomed. You see, he's dressed very well. He's in his finery. He takes pride in the way he looks. He is a person who would be very knowledgeable. He would be very helpful. He would be someone who's a good friend, someone that you can rely on, someone who provides excellent advice, recommendations, someone that's there for you whenever you need them. It's also someone that can assist you professionally, because you see he's got these scrolls, these plans. He's very good at developing plans. Now, he can tend to overthink. He spins in his mind of thinking. But they're saying a number of you stayed in this relationship with this person because they could help you. They could assist you. Some of you actually had a business together with him. Because he was good at developing plans. He was good at putting things together, putting stuff down on paper. For some, he was also the person that had the financial backing for it. And for some, that's why you kept him, because you're like, I need his help. I need him to put these things together. I need him to keep this business going. I need him to come up with the ideas. I need him to financially back it. I need his help. I need assistance. Some of you really just kind of looked at him like a friend, almost like a family member, but he's not a family member. He was someone romantically involved with. And in a large number of you, you're actually not with him at this time, but you're trying to bring him back. Or you're fearful of completely letting him go. Because I get for a large number of you, it's over, but it's not completely over. Like there's this thin cord, you're still holding on, and some of you are actually trying to lure him back in at this time. And they're trying to get you to stop. Do not lure them back in, because the reason you're luring them back in, because you're comfortable with them, you're familiar. And this spiral going back and forth, because they're saying for some of you, that's what this relationship has been like. You two of you come together. Some of you could become, and she's holding this like staff thing, you could come together because the sex is really good. The sex is great, and oh, by the way, he's got money and he helps me and he does these things for me. But then, you come back and boom, then you go in separate directions again. It totally derails, toxic, and it's over almost as fast as it started right back up. But there's always been this, they're saying this, the whole cycle of this relationship, there's always been this string where you've always kept him on a string. You've always been able to just pull him back in like a fish, bait him back in. It's time to stop baiting him back in. It's time to cut the line for good. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to you. Because they're saying, you see how they're both facing forward. They're both facing the future. You're not on the same page. You have not been on the same page. You both want totally different things in life, in marriage, in love. Even your belief systems, the things that you value are different. So like for some, maybe you don't want children. That's odd. I say that's odd because the Empress, she's the mother, she's pregnant in this image. But for some, they're saying, like an example is that you don't want kids. You've never wanted kids. But he's always wanted to have children, and that's been a point of contention. But in everything, you're total polar opposites because you're not meant to be together. But they're saying that you've also been you have been of two minds. Sometimes people, okay. So sometimes people will get into a relationship with someone because they're so in love with them. They just love them so much. They jump into a relationship with someone because they're in love. They really want to be with them. And they may have a little bit of the logic side to it, but it's all about love. That's why they're in, because it's like, oh my gosh, I am so in love with this person. I want to build a foundation with them. I want to build a family with them. I want to have these adventures in life with them. And then you'll sometimes have people that will get into a relationship because of how it assists them financially, monetarily. Because they're thinking with that logical mind of, I'm not in love with them. I really don't want to be with them. Maybe in this instance, okay, the sex is great when we have that. But I just need his help financially. I just need his money. I need his help. That's what I need. I need his help. I really just need his friendship. I just need his help. That's all I need. But because it's like something's been portrayed that it was for love when it wasn't. Because you're not in love with him. That's what they're saying. They're saying you're not in love with him. You don't need to hold on to him for comfort. And they're saying that's the same thing they've been saying for the past couple months, which is also, again, similar to Cancer. Because for you and Cancer, both of your signs, you've been encouraged to let this person go. They are not your twin flame. They are not your meant to be. They are not your long-term person. Now, for some of you, they're saying that you are soulmates with this person, but you were soulmates to learn a lesson, because we have all different types of soulmates. We'll have family members who are soulmates. We will have friends who are soulmates. We'll have lovers who are soulmates. Sometimes lovers who are soulmates, they will stay together and be together for a lifetime. But oftentimes, lovers who are soulmates, they will come into each other's lives to teach each other a lesson. Oftentimes when that happens, it's a very toxic, volatile relationship, which this has been. Not to say that all times have been bad. There have been good times over the years. But this has been going on for many years, like literally 10, 20 plus years. It's time to be over. Okay. I was trying to see if there's anything else that they can give us out of this that's not just love. Archangel Michael saying, no, this is love. Let's pull some Lenormand and see if they can give us anything else. We'll pull them on the central issue. You've got to be kidding me. Okay. So this relationship has been difficult. It's been a cross to bear. It's been a burden. It's been filled with heartache, jealousy, strife, arguments. The full cycle. Okay. So for those of you that are not wanting to hear about love and that this is not your situation, sorry that this is just not going to work for you this month, but listen to your moon or your rising sign, because you may be able to get something from that. We have the ship, we have the woman, and we have the mask. Now, there are two women in this deck. I have the extended Lenormand deck. You have the woman who has stepped into her power. She's very confident. Then you have the woman who is the lover. Now, Lenormands are very interesting because they play off of, what is the order of the cards. So anytime that this mask card shows up, it's all about, if it's near a woman or a man, it's saying that that person is fake, that they are presenting themselves one way. They're presenting themselves, their thoughts, their beliefs, their feelings one way, when it's actually the complete opposite. Now, if this were in the past, if the mask were in the past, that would be saying that, okay, in the past she was wearing a mask, but now she's changed. Maybe she was in this relationship and now she's realized, okay, this is a horrible, toxic relationship. I'm going to stop faking like I'm in love. I'm going to stop faking like I want this, and I'm going to move in a new direction to find real love. Although she's still looking in the past. But this is in front, which means she still has the mask fully on. And it's about love. So this spiral, this thing that you need to release, it is this, they're saying you keep trying to start a journey with him. You keep trying to build something with him. You keep trying to get it off the ground. It doesn't get off the ground. It doesn't get off the ground because you are portraying that you are in it for love. You are portraying to him, I love you, I'm in love with you, oh my gosh, I want to have this. But in reality, it's the complete opposite. In reality, you are in it because of gold, money, finances, what this person can bring you financially. And it doesn't have to be, Lexi, let me make sure they didn't bump the camera. Okay, perfect. Girls, shh. Allie. Okay, so I might have to, okay, I'm going to close my front door. I'm not going to edit this, but I'm going to take off my mic 1 second. 1 second. Be right back, Capricorns. Allie. Okay, sorry about that. So let me put my mic back on. We'll get started. I'm not going to edit it. Editing takes way too long. Okay, so my neighbors decided to walk their dog and stand right outside my house the whole time, staring at the girls. And they love to converse with the neighbors. So sorry that you got that right in the middle of your reading. Okay. We're back on board. Let's see, where were we? Oh, yes, masks. Okay. And Capricorn, we all worry about money and finances, but there's not a reason to worry about money and finances. You are an earth sign. You will be fine on your own. Some of you are fearful about being able to do it on your own because he is the person that comes up with all these great ideas, all these plans, and you're like, oh, how am I going to be able to do this on my own? Because for some of you do have a business with him. So they're trying to, not only, they're trying to have the relationship over, the business over. They're trying to totally have complete ties, everything cut, done, and over, the two of you going in totally opposite directions on your own. Separate completely from each other. And they're saying that they do want that cord completely cut. Now, the Empress, she's the mother. She's about happiness. You know, she loves to give and receive. She's all about balance and generosity. She's about fertility, new ideas, personal growth. She loves to nurture things, grow things. Now, I was asking them, you know, what is the overall of these two? We've got the coffin, which is death, mice, and owls. So it's, you know, they were saying earlier, it's over. You're not with each other anymore. You're not dating each other anymore. It's over. But you are trying to pull them back in to have this new beginning. But they are divinely guiding you, because birds are all about communications and stuff, but owls are more about communication, wisdom coming from the other side, from the divine. So you're being divinely guided to stop. To stop. Do not pull them back. This is over. This is finished. Allow this to be finished. Don't continue to nibble away at this. Because this relation, okay, and it's funny when you listen to the reads, I don't know if you guys can ever hear, sometimes it's like they'll tap, there will be a noise that's on the French doors behind me, and they just tap that. So that's sometimes when you hear that, that's the angels giving confirmation. Bam, nailed it, spot on. That's the message. But there's been a lot of depression, fears, worries over this relationship. It's just, the whole thing has been filled with worry. They're trying to move you to a new chapter. They're trying to bring you in a love who not only will be a partner for you financially, not only a partner to help build your business, they're saying your empire, because she's the Empress. Her partner is the Emperor. He's the King of Scrolls. His partner is the Queen of Scrolls. They are not a match. They are not a pair. They are not a couple. They are not meant to be together. You keep trying to force a relationship with someone you are not meant to be with. You're trying to put a round peg in a square hole. It's not going to work. It's not meant to work. You can try to force it, like maybe I can jam this in there. You've been trying to force it for years, over and over and over. You give up, and then you try to force it again. You give up, you try to force it again. They're encouraging you to stop trying to force it. Allow it to fall away. This, again, is all about letting it go, shedding the old, releasing that. Many of you, you've started to lure them back in. You're thinking about luring them back in because you've been in the state of unknown. You guys haven't been talking for a while, but you haven't officially made it over. For some of you, you are going through the process of legally separating some business, some financial assets that you have together. And you're getting to the end of that, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to get worried. I'm starting to freak out a little bit. Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be all right? Maybe I need to start caressing that again. Maybe trying to work that back. Maybe trying to work him back in. But you're not a couple. You're both looking forward. You're on the same page. You don't desire the same thing. That's interesting. Okay. So this is random. So this may just be for one of you or two of you. You see how she's pregnant? You know, they were saying earlier the two of you are on totally separate pages. One of you wants to have a family. One of you does not want to have a family. At some point in this relationship, and they're saying this is that, okay, there's a cross watcher. So for some of you, you are the male. You are cross watching this reading because the woman who you've been in this cycle with, she is a Capricorn. There was a point in the okay. They're saying they want you to know this because as you are trying to be lured back in, or you are thinking about it, because even you have fears. You know, she also has her feminine desires and feminine ways. So for some of you, she's trying to pull you back in sexually with, you know, trying to entice you with sexuality, trying to pull you back in. Because this is a phallic, it's like she's got a good grip on the wand. She's got a good grip on your wand. She's trying to pull that in. She does use that to her advantage for some of you. But what they want you to know, because you have been doing some thinking during this time that the two of you have been on separate pages, and that you've been going through, some of you through a legal matter, to finally separate the two of yourselves. Now for some, it could be divorce, but I'm getting for a number of you, the thing that tied you was like some form of business, some investments. But during this time that you've been going through separation, you've been going through a lot. Now she's trying to pull you back in, but what they want you to know, because you are not really interested in starting to back up, but because it's like a comfy blankie. So for you, it's been a comfy blankie. For her, it's been a comfy blankie. Both of you are uncertain about going into the unknown. But there have been so many, like if you did a T-chart, pros and cons, there are so many cons and like single digit of pros. One of the things to solidify your decision, they're saying that during this relationship, throughout this time, you wanted to have a family. She did not want to have a family. At one point in the relationship, she became pregnant. And she made you believe it was your child. And it was not your child because she was in a loving relationship with someone else, because I get that you are at a distance. So she could have the relationship with the person that she was in love with and have you at a distance. But she made you believe that it was your child, and she knew that it was not. Okay, so maybe this is for a couple of you, because they're saying, and for some of you, she made you believe that she lost the baby, but she actually had an abortion. And that's something that's very important to you. It was not your child. It never was your child. She led you to believe that it was, to keep this together, to keep this going. She knew it wasn't, but she led you to believe it was. But at the same time, she did not want to become a mother. She did not want to have a baby. And there was also some fear that when she had the baby, if the baby was to look like the real father, he doesn't look anything like you. And you would have known. So she terminated, she ended that pregnancy. So hopefully that's for more than one of you, but they're saying that you needed to know that, because that's something very important for you as you make this decision, because it's time for the two of you to move forward. They're trying to move you both into better, greener pastures. So, okay. So that's heavy, but hopefully that's for more than one of you. Okay, so back to those of you that are not cross watchers, that are actually Capricorns listening to this. They're trying to get you to a relationship where you've got it all. You don't just have, the money, the stability, the helper, the person that's going to be your right hand, but you also have love, and you have joy, and you have bliss, and you have happiness. What they need you to acknowledge that you're refusing to see, that it's just not here. It's not here. It's not meant to be. Allow it to fall away so you can get something so much better, because that's exactly what they're going to be bringing you. Now, you have this rising above, and at the bottom it says, I see only beauty and grace. They're saying don't allow, because the main reason you're holding on to this relationship or trying to lure them back into the relationship is because you are fearful. We'll do crazy things when we're afraid. But they're saying there's nothing that you need to fear. Allow yourself to... Okay, so there's doubt and fear, but the doubt is tied to the fear. So allow yourself to let the fear go. Let the doubt go, let the worries go. It's interesting because you even have doubt here. This card, doubt, says at the bottom, I release the need to know all the answers. Because for some of you, you're fearful of, okay, well, what if I let this go? What's this new path going to hold for me? Am I going to be able to take care of myself? Am I going to be able to provide for myself? You know, am I going to be able to brainstorm these things? Am I really going to be able to take all the action steps? Because, you know, some of you, you've got your own business and it's a lot. It's a lot of work. You are busting your hump day and night. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on my own. Am I going to be able to pull this off? You're not going to have any problems. You're not going to have any worries. You are powerful. You are able to do this. You're an empress. You're an empress. You're a rock star. You've got this. You don't need help from anyone. Don't allow that to keep you stuck in the muddy, murky waters. It's time to let go. It's time to let go for good. And it's time to rise up out of this, because lotus flowers come out of muddy, murky, nasty, icky waters. This relationship has been a whole lot of icky. It's been icky. It's been muddy. It's been turbulent. It's not beautiful, crystal clear waters in the Caribbean where you're just blissful and you're sipping on a pina colada. This is, you're in the mud, you're in the murk, you're in the mud. You come out, you're nasty, you're dirty, you look like a wet Yorkie. It's not a place you want to be. They're trying to take you somewhere better. But you need to have the willpower to rise above this, to release this relationship, this disempowering situation, this disempowering relationship. Release the fear and rise above. You see, she's on her own. She doesn't have anyone with her. She's not pulling anyone behind her. She's not trying to pull someone in to help her. She's just doing it on her own, and she's glowing. She's radiant. You can do this. You can rise above this situation on your own. You don't need anyone. Now, many of you, you do want a partner that you can rely on, but you first, they can't bring you a new partner in until you release this one. When you release this one, and if you can have the courage to do it within the immediate future during this time frame, it'll be done for good. So then they can finally bring you in someone new that's going to be perfect for you. They're going to bring in your emperor. Last card. So the angels are encouraging you, let it go. Let it go. Let that all fall behind you. Release your doubts. Release your worries. You've got this. The other last card that you have, this is be yourself. So for many of you, you have not been honest and forthright. You have not been honest and forthright with him. You have not been honest and forthright with yourself. So there is going to need, for a number of you, there's going to need to be a conversation to finally have this be done, over, concluded. But be honest. Be honest. You know, let him or her, you know, if this sounds like your situation, the sexes are opposite, go ahead and swap it. But when you have that conversation with them, let them know that, hey, I'm not into this. I haven't been into this for a long time. And I'm sorry that I've kept both of us stuck out of my fears, out of my worries. Actually, we're done with these. My fears and worries kept both of us stuck, and I'm sorry for that. And I wish you the best in the future endeavors, but this is over. This is done. Thank you for everything that you brought me. And allow them to fall away. Allow it to be over. But you do need to be honest. Oh, and some of them, they're saying for some of you that you need to be honest with yourself. You don't want a loveless relationship. You want someone that's your equal, that's your partner on all fronts. But you want someone also that you are in love with, that you are passionate about. They are going to bring you that person. For many of you, they will be bringing you that person this fall. But that hinges off of you letting this person go this month. Like post-haste, like right away. Allow them to go. You've already gone through a number of the days and months of healing. Because you're not in it for love. It's just really, they're saying it's really just the fear and worries about making it on your own. So it's not like you're going to need 6 months, 12 months to heal. You're actually going to bounce back within 1-2 months. And it's really, your bouncing back is just going to be giving yourself 1 to 2 months to see like, oh, okay, cool, I've got this. I've got this. Oh my gosh, I don't need anyone. Look at me popping up out of this lotus flower like a rock star. I'm shining bright like a diamond. I don't need help. I don't need anyone. I don't need to be pulling dead weight. I don't need to lure dead weight in. I've got this. So after a month or two of seeing that you've got it, then they're going to bring in your new partner. And that will be awesome. So I do wish you the best with that, Capricorn. Again, for those of you that's not at all your situation, listen to your moon, your rising signs. Okay, we are on Virgo. Okay, Virgo. And your cards should fit. Okay. So let's see here. Camera's in close enough that you can see them, so I don't have to lift them up for you. You have your central issue, what it is that you're refusing to see or acknowledge, and then what the angels are recommending you do this month. Now, you have Wild Woman. And this is about, being authentic, being who we are. See, she's dancing, she's strutting, she's working her stuff. She doesn't care what anyone thinks about her. She is being who she is meant to be, who she is destined to be. She's dancing to her own beat. She's allowing her to be true and genuine. She's allowing herself to be her true self. Many of you have had some difficulties allowing yourself to be the true you. She's got this heart on her chest that's upside down. Some of you have just felt like things are upside down. You've been going through a lot of growth, a lot of healing, a lot of awakening. You've gone through kind of like a spiritual rebirth, and you've done a great job. But now you're not the same person that you used to be. And it's kind of making it difficult for you. Because you want to go, many of you even want to go into a new direction career-wise. Okay, for a large number of you, it is something career-wise, but you are feeling like, okay, I'm destined. I'm fated for something new. This isn't me anymore. I need to do this new thing, but you haven't allowed yourself to go in that new direction yet. And some of you've been unable to. Maybe it's you have a business, you have a job, something that you're going to have to leave first before you can fully step into your awesomeness. Now, so for some of you, you have felt trapped in a situation like, okay, I can't move into this new chapter of my life because I'm stuck in this chapter. I've got to end this first. I've got to conclude this first. And then, oh my gosh, I'm going to be free. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be able to do what I desire. I'm going to be able to finally get on this path. Some of you have been a little worried about the new path because it's a complete change. But there is going to be some news coming in this month. There's going to be discovery, some news coming in this month that's going to free you from the situation so you can finally step into you. So you can finally get your heart also flipped upright. Be living from the heart. Be enjoying your life again. So you can finally feel that you are free to do the things that you desire. You're finally free and able to move into this new chapter. What you're refusing to see or acknowledge, you have this One of Scrolls, and it says on track. And it's got this guy. He's getting ready to board this train. He's got his ticket in hand. He's made his decision. He's made his choice. Okay, I'm taking this journey. But he's looking back at these cities like, oh, did I make the wrong choice? Should I abort this decision? Should I go in a new direction? What do I do? This is about, making a choice. What direction do you want to go? Because even though you're on a path, you're headed in a direction, you feel deep down in your heart it's not the right one for you. And then with that, we've got the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom. It says Angel of Destiny. This is about fate, luck, opportunities, movement. It's also about preparing for things to shift, to change. The wheel is turning. The wheel is moving forward. The crank, it's getting ready. It's getting ready to go. It's time for things to shift. It's time to get you off this one path and get you on a new path. This is a destined change. This is a fated change. But with this fated change, things will finally improve. Things will become magical. You see all these stars? Something magical. And these cards are, about what it is that you are not really wanting to see. It's not always that we refuse to see something because we're just being stubborn and digging our heels in. Oftentimes it's because we're fearful. We're fearful of how things are going to turn out. We're fearful, we don't want to make the wrong choice, the misstep. This moving into this new chapter is totally different than what you've been doing. Totally different life, way of doing things. Say it's a career change that you're doing. Maybe you're going from being an accountant to all of a sudden you are going to be a shaman. Doing spiritual work, shaman work, like it's total polar opposites. And you have been fearful about jumping onto this new path, this new beginning, because you're fearful. Oh my gosh, what if it's the wrong path? What if it's the wrong step? So you haven't jumped on board yet. You're not fully on board. But this change is destined, it is fated, and it's going to be happening. And for many of you, that wheel is going to turn and bring things into motion this month to get you onto that path, because that's where your soul is being called. If you were just to sit there and say, okay, what do I really deep down want to do? It's this new chapter. You're just really fearful, because it is a huge leap of faith. It's totally different. Some of you, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a career change. It could be, you're totally up and moving. Maybe you've been living in a city and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just feeling pulled to the country. I need to move to the country. I need to get out of here. I'm feeling claustrophobic. I need to breathe in some fresh air. I need to have some space. But it's total opposite. And it's a fairly big change. Allow yourself to have this new beginning. What the angels are recommending that you do, you have giving birth, and at the bottom it says, I'm bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. So you've been kind of the past three to 6 weeks, they're saying it's been kind of like the calm. Sometimes you'll have the calm before the storm, and then sometimes you'll be in the midst of the storm and you'll have calm, but that's because you're in the eye of the storm, and then stuff's going to get rough and rocky, but then you come out on the other end. You are in the midst of the eye of the storm. It's been rocky, it's been bumpy, it's been difficult trying to close this chapter so you can move to the other one. So now you've been in this 3-6 week period where things have been fairly calm. That is to help you to prepare for this new change, because what happens when a woman is pregnant? She begins to build her nest. She begins to prepare. She starts to gather little baby clothes and toys and all the first aid stuff, starts to prepare the nursery, starts to get ready to give birth to this new life, this new blessing. You're about to give birth to a new life, a new blessing, a new beginning that's magical. So they're asking that any final preparations that you need to do at this time, do it, because very soon for most of you, though, it's going to be this month that something's going to shift and change and put you on this new path. So you've had these last 3 to 6 weeks to calm, prepare, get ready, because now things are going to shift rapidly for you. So for those of you that maybe you've got 2 or 3 weeks, use those 2 or 3 weeks, but then when it pops and prepares, allow yourself just to get on this new path and focus your efforts and your time toward that new beginning, creating that new chapter. Ask for help along the way. You have this card, ask for guidance. So the angels, as you start this new beginning, there's going to be a lot of decisions you have to make, a lot of choices. You're going to feel like, okay, well, I need help picking a location. I need help picking a name. Ask the angels for help. They cannot help you unless you ask. So make sure that you are asking them for help, and they will step in and help you. Also, for some of you, ask your friends and family for help, because many of them would be honored and want to help you. You don't have to take it all on your own. And the last card you have is humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. They do want you to have a little fun. Getting to this eye of the storm, you've gone through a lot. It's been very emotionally trying. Some of you felt like, I don't have the strength to go any further. You're feeling kind of drained. You're feeling kind of drained and kind of down and out, like, oh my gosh, I can't muster the energy to do this anymore. Doing something fun that's going to make you laugh is going to help raise your vibration. It's going to help bring some of that energy, life force back in you to give you the energy that you're going to need to start this new beginning. So do some things that are fun. Do some things that make you laugh. Go to dinner, laugh with your friends. Go to a comedy show. Do something to raise your vibration. Get yourself into that bubbly state of happy. And that's it. It's fairly easy for you this month, Virgo. Well, other than the whole giving birth thing. But you do have a whole team helping you with that. And you have known for a while that was the path that you're destined to go on. There's just been a little hesitancy heading in that direction. Okay, last is Taurus. Let's see if we'll be able to get these all so you can see them. I got the camera zoomed in fairly close so I don't have to pick these up, hopefully. Looks like we're almost in for all of them. Okay. Taurus, so you have the central issue, what it is that you're refusing to see or acknowledge, and then what the angels are recommending that you do this month. You have the vision quest, and this is all about, you know, looking at things in a new perspective. You see, she's like dancing. She's glowing. She's got all these sparks and joy and things going on around her. She also has her heart is fully opened. It's illuminated. She's dancing into a new beginning, a new future, a new start. This card's about looking at things from a new perspective. It's about facing our fears. It's about finally freeing ourselves from a state of stagnation by opening up to new opportunities, allowing new things to happen, allowing ourselves to have a new perspective. This also reminds us that in order to get that new perspective, in order to open up to those new beginnings, we also need to take time alone. You see, she's not slow dancing with someone. She doesn't have a partner. She's dancing on her own. She's making magic happen. She's living in a state of joy and happiness and bliss. That gets things moving. That gets things going. So for some of you, you have just been so busy with things that you've been out of balance. And your mind's been spinning, reeling with thoughts, which is why, for some of you, it's been very difficult for you to look at things from a new perspective. Because the time has come for you to have a new beginning. For a number of you, this is going to be a new beginning in love. For some of you, this is a twin flame love. You've got this yin yang. You get the crown. Interesting thing is when I do final healing sessions with twin flames, Jesus will, at that last healing session with the two of them, he'll come in and he'll do a divine crowning with the divine masculine. Some of you, this is a twin flame. You're about to come into union with your twin. To get that energy moving forward, it first starts with you just getting energy moving forward in your life. You get the momentum in your life, you remove the stagnation in your life, that moves everything else forward. But you do need to have some balance. Have some joy, have some excitement. Because for some of you, you've been going through changes in life and it's not been joyful, it's not been happy, it's been very heavy for you. And then now you're just kind of drained. You can tell you're at the point of having this new start, this new beginning, but you're like, man, I just don't, how am I going to do this? They are encouraging you to step into your power. Because for some of you, things that have transpired in the past have made you feel as though you are unworthy. But you are a queen. You are royalty. You are worthy. You are amazing. Look at this. I mean, you shine. You shine. You radiate. You don't show up for the magic. You bring the magic. It is time for you to step into your power. It's time for you to step back in to your confidence, to knowing and remembering that you are amazing so that you can have this new beginning. This new beginning that you're going to start, you don't know all the details yet. That's okay. But just allow yourself to start putting one foot in front of the other and start to move forward, because it is time to begin. It is time to start moving forward. Even though you don't know everything, just start taking those steps and then you'll be able to watch it unfold. Now, as far as what you're unwilling or unable to see, you have will, wisdom, and mind. And this is all about really, truly balance. It's the Trinity. It's balancing our will, our power with our love or wisdom, and then our mind, our thoughts. So, balancing your emotions with your heart, and then, having the will, the power to do it. Balancing your heart and mind so you can get things done. Because when you're in total balance, and that's why for some of you, they were saying it's twin flame. You've got this flame, you've got them. When the two of you can come into, okay. So when it comes to twin flames, you both have to be in balance. Some people will sit and they'll fret and they'll wonder, why is he not calling? Why haven't I heard from her? But when they look at their lives, their entire life is totally out of balance in all areas. So that's a good sign that you're not ready for union yet. If life's totally out of balance, if you're in total emotional upheavals, you swing from one day you're hopeful, the next day you're not, or you're just constantly focusing almost like a stage 5, okay, because it's funny from that movie, a stage 5 clinger. But if all you're doing is focusing on them, you're not quite ready for union yet. When you come in, but they're saying that those of you in this situation, that's not you. You left that phase a long time ago. Congratulations, job well done. You're about to have union because you left that months, even years ago. But once twins get out of that state where they're constantly worrying, what's he doing? What's she doing? Oh my gosh, that's all they can think about. And they start working on themselves. They start healing themselves. If they're going to be stepping into a spiritual practice, they start stepping into a spiritual practice, or they start preparing to do so. And then they come into a state of balance where they're just not really concerned about their twin anymore. They love them, but they're just not worried about it. Because they've stepped back into a state of loving themselves, having confidence in themselves, knowing that they're whole and perfect on their own, because they've come into a state of balance. When they are in a state of balance, and then their twin is in a state of balance, they come together in union. And when she comes in, the divine feminine comes into a state of balance, guess what? That very rapidly brings the masculine into a state of balance as well. But when she gets into that state of balance, she needs to maintain that state of balance. She can't get into the state of balance for a week and then be like, oh, well, I've tried this for a week, but nothing's happened. I'm not having my new beginning, so I'm going to drop back down and everything's going to be chaotic again. Well, then that just delays things. She has to get into the state of balance. She has to maintain that state of balance, then bring the masculine up, because it's an energetic thing. Then he's able to bring himself into balance, and then they come into union. Because it's the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and God. That is this trinity. That is this connection. That's why in the Bible it talks about what God has brought together, let no man separate. That's not talking about marriage that we do here on earth. That's talking about the connection between twin flames and twin souls. They are one. They are divinely, spiritually brought together. They will never be separated, ever. Regardless of what's going on in the physical realm. But it's balance. It's also about stepping into our power, stepping into our authority. You've got this Journeys card, this Eight of Wands. This is about swift action, communication, overcoming blocks. And this is about, what you're not seeing, what you're refusing to see. So many of you, because this card can also be about, feeling like we're spinning our wheels, wasting our time, our actions are futile, they're not going anywhere, nothing's going to happen. You've got this shield with these three legs all going in separate directions. You're not going to be able to walk forward if you're all in separate directions, not on the same page. You do not think that this is possible. You do not believe that you're beginning to fear that you're ever going to have this fresh start. Because you think, oh my gosh, I've wasted my time. This is never going to happen. We're never going to be able to pull this together. There's been too many hurdles, too many blocks. It's just, we're never going to start this venture together. And for some of you, it's almost like you kind of just blocked it out. Like, okay, your heart's not broken. Your heart is upright. You just have a lot of doubts. But what they need you to do is to release those doubts. Because for some of you, what you don't understand, what you're not seeing, is that these hurdles, these blocks, these challenges that you have, they are going to be overcome very rapidly. For some of you, you're going to even be getting, because this card is also about communications, electronic communications. It can be emails, texts, tweets. But some of you are going to receive some communication this month to begin that. But you have to be open to it. Not to, because they're saying to get to balance yourself, to get yourself out of a state of doubting, thinking it's not going to happen. To just, now don't get yourself into a mind state where you have expectations and you think it's going to happen a certain way. Okay, that's tied to this card. But you can't be in a state of thinking things are going to happen a certain way. Like, he's going to call me, or he's going to show up at my door unexpectedly with roses and whisk me into his arms and take me to dinner. Don't have expectations of what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. This is follow the golden rule. Doing unto others as you'd have done unto you. But, you wouldn't want people to have expectations of you. Don't have expectations of them. Let him or her do it however they're going to do it. But regardless, you have your divine masculine returning. He's going to do it his way. Don't be discouraged and upset when he just starts out with something small, sends you a text message, hey, how are you doing? Because he's not going to have the courage right out the gate to show up at your house with roses and whisk you off to dinner somewhere. He's going to start small. But don't think because he's starting small that, this is going to happen. Just let it unfold how it's going to unfold. Don't have expectations. Don't think about when, how. Just stay focused on you. Move your life forward. Take your steps and just allow things to fold. But you've got your warno. You're about to have your new beginning with him. You got starting fresh. At the bottom it says, a wonderful new beginning is blossoming in my life. What you need to do is you need to allow this new beginning. He's coming back. In the meantime, keep yourself off of focusing on that. Don't sit and stress and worry and fret, be thinking all the time, when am I going to hear from him? When he's going to call? Nicole said he's going to text me this month. Yes, that's true for a number of you, or an email. But don't sit and think about it all the time, because then guess what you're doing? You're energetically punt kicking it, because you're then trying to control. It's kind of like when we give God. We can't put God in a box. So we can't say, okay, God, this is how I expect it to happen. Like, take my retirement. I can't expect this person's going to call me and they're going to offer me this and this is how they're going to do it. It's just going to happen however it's going to do. God has gotten a lot of people involved at very top levels. They are good. They're going to make things right the wrongs and fix things. Now how and who and what and when, that's not for me to think about or worry about. God's taking care of that. Because if we put essentially their expectations as to how we think it's going to happen and God's planning to do it a different way, well, guess what? Then we're sitting here wondering why nothing's happening. Because if you put God in a box and you say, well, I expect my twin to do this. I expect that he's going to call me and then he's going to invite me to dinner. That's how I want it to happen. Well, if that's not how it's going to happen, 6 months from now, you're still going to be sitting there wondering, well, why hasn't he, called me and taken me to dinner? Because that's not how it's going to happen. And if you've set expectations, that's here's how I think they're going to come back. And this is what I think they're going to do. You're not allowing God to actually bring it in the way that it's meant to, the way that's actually going to be so much better and blow your mind and be amazing, because you're putting expectations. You're putting a box around it. So essentially, if you're saying, I want it this way and it's not meant to come that way, well, you're just going to continue to sit and wait. So do not have expectations. Just know that, hey, I'm open, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready for this new beginning. In the meantime, just continue to focus on gratitude, not just with when they do come and contact you, be in a state of gratitude. It may, for most of you, it's not going to be some crazy over the top thing, but just be thankful. I am very glad that I heard from them. But they're also saying for you to maintain that balance and not to focus. They're warning a number of you, do not focus and fret and think nonstop about when they're going to call you. Do not do that. Don't do that. You've worked so hard to get to the state of balance. Do not do that. Just for this next month, focus on all the other things you're thankful for. Focus that, oh my gosh, I'm thankful I had the most amazing cup of free coffee at Starbucks today. I'm so thankful that person smiled at me. I'm so thankful for the beautiful weather. Stay in the moment. You need to stay in the moment. They're saying because some of you, you're going to tend to want to start thinking, oh, when's it going to happen? How's it going to happen? That's focused on the futures. Don't focus on the future. Focus on the now. My life is amazing. I'm so happy. Look at me. I'm so magical. You're magical. You glow, you glitter, you sparkle. I mean, you're like a fireworks display. Who doesn't want to be a fireworks display rocking a big crown? That's you. Stay in the moment. Oh my gosh, you have so much to be thankful for. Just be thankful for that. And stay in a state of service. So for those of you that have ventured into your spiritual work, focus on doing your spiritual work. You will find that when you're doing your spiritual work, other things just flow. Money flows. Things are easy. Life is easy. Your connection will flow. So just do that. It's going to be amazing. Taurus, you are the second sign that's going to have an awesome month, and I'm so happy for you. So I look forward to hearing what happens next month. Keep me posted, and I wish you all a lot of love, joy, and blessings.